Hey guys, this is Josh. I'm back. I'm going to do a video on a cute little UV or ultraviolet light. They call it a flashlight, but it's next to useless for actual illumination of an area. It is pretty much only useful for illuminating things that are not visible to the human eye, or at least not normally, depending on what kind of freaky mutant X-Men type of person you might be, or things that are fluorescent that are not actually active, or blood, other bodily fluids, and actually ultraviolet ink, or whatever they call it nowadays, which is only visible under ultraviolet. I don't know the exact specs on that because I think there's some that are visible on high wavelength and some that are visible on low wavelength. If memory serves, ultraviolet wavelengths are between 0 and 400 nanometer. Aside from that's what makes them ultraviolet, I don't really remember what that means. We get a little light here. This one rates between 390 and 400 nanometer, so it's high wavelength ultraviolet. And I've tested it before and it works pretty good, so we'll go ahead and do the actual shooting of things with the UV later on in the video. We're going to weigh it in ounces. With its lanyard and 3 AAA batteries, it weighs 3.329 ounces. 3.329. Nice and light. It comes with a handy-dandy lanyard. And actually it comes with a keychain keyring, but I think the main purpose of that is just so you can put the lanyard on there. There's a little cutaway in the side of it. To be honest, it's the medium to high quality of the little Chinese super bright flashlight styles. The body is slightly stronger. The internal parts look to be tighter. It claims to be shockproof. However, you have a couple of ounces worth of batteries suspended over a spring. So if you drop this thing and it face plants, either on the front, of course, or on the back, you have a good chance of breaking one of the internal components. Probably not the LED bulbs or the aluminum body, which is actually pretty decent, but one of the springs or something like that's going to break. So don't drop it on the ground in some test where you want to say, hey, let's see if this thing's truly shockproof. It's not going to be. I don't care what they claim. It does claim to be water resistant, and it closes pretty damn tight. So I would guess if it gets wet, it'll be okay. If you immerse it in water for an hour, it'll probably fail. I'm not going to test that either. We know how much it weighs. You can tell how big it is. Fits in the palm of your hand. I guess I'll measure it. You can get these guys for between 10 and 20 bucks. It's under 4 inches, just about 3 3/4. 10 to 20 bucks on Amazon or somewhere else. This particular brand is Neiko, Neiko, whatever. They're one of the more prestigious, if you will, of the cheap Chinese super bright flashlights. They have good reviews. That's the only reason I got this one, because my luck with those kind of flashlights is very bad. If you've noticed, I don't have those kind of flashlights. I either have a mag light, which is, of course, made in USA, or I have one of the Surefire, not usually, Streamlight, something like that, something of a tactical nature. And occasionally I will use a made in China one, like my UTG lights. Those are all made in China. But they're high quality, equipment. Let's go ahead and break out some bills for you and show you an interesting use that the everyday person might be able to use this for. If you've ever had currency in your wallet and you wondered, how do I really know if that is a real bill? Is this a real piece of money, or is this a really good counterfeit? Well, you can look all the hallmarks and all the invisible crap that you can't really see without looking at it close, or you can go ahead, and we'll try this under normal light. I haven't tried it under normal light. See what it looks like. You can just barely see there's a little strip there. Let's turn the light off. And you can see all of the little hallmark crap. You can see an ultraviolet strip. And on the front, you can see that ultraviolet strip again. Now, apparently, the ultraviolet strips, and I've checked several bills, are in a specific place on a specific bill. A $5 bill is somewhere over here. and the 20 is going to be over here through the 0. I tried that on several different years, and that's just seems to be the way it goes. So you can use it for that, and it's actually cheaper than buying one of those counterfeit pens, because you can get this thing for under $10. It's definitely going to last longer than a counterfeit pen does. You can check 100 bills in a couple of seconds. Pretty easy. It also reflects differently off different kinds of metals. I'm not going to show you that because it is actually dangerous. Ultraviolet radiation, the reflection of it, can harm you because it's the same crap that comes off the sun that gives you cancer and all that fun stuff. Plus you can get a really weird, sometimes invisible sunburn from it. So it will reflect off metals, but like I said, I'm not going to show you. But if you use it on, like, say, a diamond or something like that, and you're not in the reflect area, you can actually see details that you wouldn't normally be able to see. I can't, for the moment, think of any other uses that you'd have for a little light like this, but personally, for the, for cleanliness type stuff, like I said, it'll show you bodily fluids. It also illuminates things like fungus, mildew, anything pretty much organic that looks kind of benign normally. You hit this thing with UV light and it looks really scary. And it makes it really good for cleaning, again, for security purposes, or if you need to be able to see ultraviolet ink, or whatever, again, they're calling it. I'm going to rate this thing probably a 3.5 out of 5. It's fairly cheap, but it could be cheaper, I think. It uses AAA batteries. It comes with the AAA batteries, but it doesn't feel like it's going to last more than maybe a year or so. So it's better, in my opinion, and as far as I can see from the facts, than getting those counterfeit pens, but it has some downsides, because some people might freak out if you start waving an ultraviolet flashlight around in front of them, if they know what ultraviolet light can do. And there's other factors. It also is good for seeing imperfections, like somebody refinishes a gun, the stock, or anything like that, glue, or anything with like a chemical signature, soap, they all show up. So it's kind of an interesting way to see just how clean somewhere is, you know, beneath the surface, I guess you would say. This was Josh. We reviewed the Neiko Ultraviolet 9 LED flashlight, they call it. I would recommend it. It's a handy thing, and I'm going to take this to the gun show, and that's what I'm going to use to authenticate bills, instead of staring at it with my jeweler's loop for 10 minutes, trying to make sure that I can actually see all of the watermarks and whatnot. This is Josh, and we're signing out.